Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Commerce Podcast. I'm your host, Jeffrey Scott from jeffreyscottmedia.com. And on this episode, I want to talk about the benefits and challenges of niching down to something specific in your creative field. Whether it be photography or videography, just picking one specific industry and being the specialized professional for that specific niche. Niching down in photography or videography can open many doors for specialized opportunities. However, if you're just good at only one thing, I think that you'll be closing yourself off from other opportunities that may arise that you would have to turn down just because you're only good at that one type of thing. So before we get into all of that and the benefits and challenges of niching down, let's get into the gear update. On this gear update, I want to feature the Insta360 Ace Pro action camera. This new camera is the latest to the action camera market, and I think it is a direct competitor of the GoPro Hero 12 Black. This new camera claims to be the industry's first 1 and 1.3 inch sensor capable of shooting up to 8K 24 FPS, 4K 120 FPS, and 48 megapixel photos. It also features a 2.4 inch flip touchscreen that provides live preview and camera control. The one really interesting feature that I saw with this is that it allows you to use AI tools on the actual camera and in the app. With the AI features, it allows users to customize their videos with any keyword they can think of using AI. So I take that as that you're able to just type in a keyword and then add something or remove something from your video. I don't know how it works, but that's what it says from them. Insta360 states that this is the first action camera capable of AIGC or AI generated content right from their mobile app. There are a ton of other features with this thing, just like any other action camera or GoPro, but I think the main thing that separates the Ace Pro from all of the other cameras is that it has its AI controls, that keyword AI thing, it has AI stability, different gesture controls, and AI customizations and way more. I think the Ace Pro is trying to up the game in the action camera scene, especially with jumping on the AI train of trying to get into that and see how it could make people's videos better, make it easier for people to create content, stuff like that. This isn't a review video, so I'm not going to go deep into this, but anyway, the Insta360 Ace and Ace Pro are now available to order on Insta360's website, Amazon, and select retailers. The Insta360 Ace retails for $379.99, while the Ace Pro is priced at $449.99. Now let's get straight into the Inspiration Insight. On this Inspiration Insight and the spirit of niches, I want to challenge you to pick a niche you may have in mind, listen to this episode, and see how you could apply it to your creative business. Maybe you're really interested in car photography, so keep that in mind and see how you could use that niche to scale and apply it to your own creative business. You could ask yourself questions like, what am I going to charge and what kind of cars am I going to take photos of? Will I attend car shows or dealerships? Do hobbyist kind of stuff or professional kind of stuff? Just sort of pick a niche, brainstorm what options and ideas you have, and then see what business can grow from that. If you don't like niching down like me, try to think of a new service you could provide, different package, different offer that you can provide your customers. Sort of the same thing with thinking of all the things that would go into a niche, just thinking about what you could provide in this new service or package that you're going to offer. What difference will it make to your clients, and how would you solve the problem for them? Because why should someone pick you than somebody else to solve their problem or create content for them? That's just a few questions to help you brainstorm. So with that in mind, I want to cover the benefits and challenges of niching down in your creative business and what that would look like if you were just to specialize in just one certain thing. I personally don't have a niche or just one thing that I do. I try to specialize in many different things so I can offer anything that comes my way for different opportunities. But I think niching down would make sense for like a production company. Like if you were a wedding production company and you have an actual company of staff and people who are specially trained in that one thing, then yeah, you could just do that one thing since that's what your company does and you've got many specialized professionals for that niche. But since I'm just a solo creative, I'm not a production company, I kind of have the freedom to learn what I want and pick and choose what clientele I want to work for depending on their needs and if I can even do it in the first place. Again, for a production company, you've got employees who are trained to specialize in this one thing. So that would work better, especially if you have more clientele coming for that one specific thing. I see people online who are solo and just work in one thing. So it's not a set in stone, one size fits all thing. It's just whatever you want to do. Same for there's specialized real estate photographers, and that's all they do. And that's the only clients they look for. There are wedding filmmakers. That's all they look for and all they work for. There's creative businesses like mine where I offer creative services for any kind of business or any personal project. And it just kind of fits into one of my packages or services. If you're not up for trying to learn a bunch of skills all at the same time for different industries, I totally get it. It's also a different mindset to think just to stick to one industry or one skill and be the best at it. Anyway, focusing on a specific niche allows you to become an expert in that field since you have specialized all of your time on that one thing and you've gotten really good at it. It also allows you to position yourself as the go-to professional for clients seeking those specialized services. A niche provides a clear target audience, making marketing and branding more effective. As, like I said before, a wedding filmmaker, your whole website or brand will be weddings and that's all you post. And so posting that often and frequently and showing that as your brand will make it more direct to your audience and clientele to see what you do and that you're good at it. By tailoring your message to a specific market segment helps you connect with clients who are genuinely interested in your unique skills. I think one benefit of niching down is that it would make your brand recognizable. When you consistently deliver high quality content for that one thing within a specific area, you become known for your expertise as the go-to person for that in your area. This brand recognition can attract clients who are willing to pay a premium even for your specialized services if you are the best at that one thing. Working within a niche often involves deeper connections with your clients who are very passionate about that one specific target in the industry or the type of content that you would be creating. This connection can lead to a more collaborative and enjoying relationship with your clients. It'll form client loyalty, repeat business, or referrals. Just like I said, with being the go-to guy within your area for that service, word of mouth is great. If you are that go-to guy and people recommend you to them or recommend their friends to you, then hey, this is the go-to guy, to go to. So go use that guy. That all sounds good, but let's get into some of the challenges with niching down. One challenge that I can think of niching down is just joining a market that would be too saturated or there's just a lot of people already doing it in your area. Depending on the niche, there might be a limited number of clients, and standing out becomes very important in a sea of specialized professionals. So do your market research and see if there are any local real estate photographers or wedding filmmakers or whatever niche you have in mind, and see if there's a market and if it's already been tapped into. Kind of like what I said with being a solo one-man band or even joining a creative production company. There may be ultra professional or big, large-scale production companies that have the biggest pieces of the pie for the whole niche that you're interested in. So as a solo creator, how are you going to get in on that by just doing one thing? And coincidentally, that one thing is what your biggest competitor is doing. Also, specializing too narrowly can just pose many different risks, especially if the niche experiences a downturn or becomes less popular. I think it's a good idea to become diverse within a niche across related niches. It's essential to mitigate the impact of changing market trends. And the only thing I can think of is if you were like a graduation photographer, something that's seasonal. So people don't graduate every day. So if you have multiple different packages or multiple different things that you're into that you do, you don't just have to wait around for that one season to do that one thing. You have other opportunities throughout the year to make money, offer your services to clients, and get work. Kind of goes with your area as well. Like I can kind of see this for the music video scene. Like you may have an artist that is local, or they may not have the budget for you if they're small, or your local area just doesn't do that sort of thing. And making music or having music artists in your area, probably for like a rural area, of course, they just don't do that thing, so there's no market. The demand can just come and go, and you don't get to control that or see that or track it or see it coming. It's just something that happens, and people will come to you for whatever they can come to you for. That's why in some niches, I think educating the market about the value of your services may be necessary, which would take a little bit more effort than just opening your doors to anybody needing creative services. Like if your specialization is like relatively new or unconventional, part of your work would involve demonstrating why your approach is unique and valuable to create content for that business or whatever else. I think the main attractive point of niching down is just so that people can just focus on one thing and one skill, because it's easier to focus on one thing than a bunch of other things that go into photography and videography. So they just get good at one thing, and because they got good at it, they can be, again, the go-to person, charge a premium, and charge more than other people who aren't as specialized in that one thing. As you establish yourself as an authority in your niche, you can gain the ability to command premium pricing for your services. So sort of like as I was saying, you get good enough and you become better than most of the people in your area, you can start to charge a premium or more than you would typically charge just because you, compared to your competitors, offer higher quality, more premium services. Clients are actually often willing to pay more for the expertise and a unique perspective that a specialist brings that is in a niche, especially if you are the best in your area. This can obviously lead to increased profitability and sustainability in your creative business long term, especially with word of mouth and referrals, since you are the best in your area, and people would obviously refer their friends or whoever to you. So all in all, just focusing on one thing lets you dive deep into it, of course, and really becoming good at it and being a specialized professional. This deep knowledge that you'll learn from this one thing will pretty much become the signature of what you do and your entire brand. I mean, yes, if you're really good at one thing, you can charge a premium to clients because you are like the best at that thing in your area. But at the same time, you might be cutting yourself out from many, many, many different opportunities than just being open to any project or any industry that may come your way. I get that juggling the benefits of specializing and the desire for variety can be very challenging. I mean, if you're really excited about that one thing and it's what you're passionate about, then that's great, do that. But if you just kind of have a general passion for just creating in general, nothing specific, then I would say just don't specialize. Try to do it all because you enjoy it all. It's something that requires a mix of passion, adaptability, and strategic thinking to fully unlock the potential of niching down creatively in a creative sense. And if you still don't know what industry you should pick, if you really want to niche down and get good at one thing, then just make a list of industries that you're interested in, whether it be real estate, graduation, weddings, cars, or commercials, advertisements. Just kind of make a list and kind of write out what you would be able to offer. Create a little package for your services. So then now that you kind of have a package and a good idea of what you'll actually be able to deliver to your client, if a client does come to you in that one or certain industry, you'd be able to provide something and try it out. Even when trying it out, you could do free to fee by just, if it's your first piece of work, just offering it for free just so you can get a good first piece of work and experience. But if you're already charging, then it wouldn't hurt to just try something new because, I mean, you're going to get paid for it anyways. But then just kind of see how the overall experience was. At the end of the day, you just need to enjoy it. And if you didn't enjoy the process, then maybe that's a good sign that you should specialize just in one thing that you actually enjoy. And if you're overwhelmed by learning all the skills for photography and videography and all these different industries, then just pick one skill for now, whether it just be just photography or just videography. Focus on one. Whenever I started my business, I just did videography. I didn't have much experience with photography, but once I got into college and started experimenting with taking more pictures, I got more comfortable over time naturally with just taking pictures. And now I kind of do half and half now. It's not just videography. I also offer a ton of photography now. And the photography skills grew not by doing professional work, but just doing my own personal creative projects that I wanted to try out. That's why I do these inspiration insights. I try to challenge you to go out and create something enjoyable just for yourself, something fun for the hobby. At the end of the day, this is a hobby, but you could also specialize it to be a career. So as I was just taking more creative photos for myself, posting on Instagram and stuff, and just going through the process yourself and just taking tons of photos editing it and just kind of learning through the work. You kind of get better at it and kind of realize the style you have, what things you like and don't like to do. And I think then you'll be able to understand what you really are passionate for and what you would want to be working for long term. Even though I have a ton of packages for both photography and videography, I've been able to kind of specialize in multiple different packages. Although I don't have one niche of just doing one thing, I've gotten good at certain packages than others. I can't tell you how many times I've raised my prices on my graduation photography. I used to charge maybe like $100, $150, but currently, as of now, I think it's like $250 or $300. So it's pretty much doubled since I first started because I've gotten such a demand for it and I reliably get clients every semester that I've been able to kind of specialize and be the go-to person at certain campuses. I do multiple things, but there's this one package that does very well for me and is specialized at certain universities where people come to me as the go-to photographer that I've been able to charge more of a premium now that I've kind of established myself in that community and have done tons of grads at that one or two universities. Like I said way earlier, it's not a set in stone process. Just see what works, and if one package works really good for you, then hey, yeah, you can focus in that one thing, but still offer all those other things that you would want to do that you find enjoyment from doing as well. So I hope this helped you weigh the options of niching down or branching out into different industries. Like I said before, I personally don't niche down, so it's okay to offer many different packages like I said before. At the end of the day, we just need to understand what our local area needs, our local businesses, even individuals, what they need and what problems we can solve. No matter what kind of business it is, a business is meant to solve a problem for somebody else. So as creative businesses, our problem to solve is creating content for that business to either market, show themselves on social media, have a face or kind of image to their brand. So since we are creative problem solvers, make sure you tailor different packages or tailor your services to their pain points and what they would be looking for in order to pay money to fix that problem. If you can fix somebody's problem really good, really fast, reliably, you've got people to show for it, here are some results, and people will pay whatever for you to do that, because the reason they're not doing it themselves is because they don't want to learn the skill, they don't have the time to do it themselves, or it's just something they really don't want to bother with and they'd rather push it to somebody else, outsourcing in a sense, to do it for them. Just speak to their pain points really and reassure them that you are there to solve those problems. Thanks for watching another episode of the Creative Commerce Podcast. I post episodes every week on YouTube and Spotify, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at jeffrey.scott_ for daily clips and highlights and other news. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.